Well, hello! Today we have a 2025 Genesis G90. In this video, I'll talk about what the Genesis G90 is, how I feel about the interior space, and what it's like to drive it. Okay, I get it. If you want a true full-size luxury sedan, you're gonna look at a BMW 7 Series or a Mercedes S-Class. I mean, both of those cars have been status symbol and segment leaders for decades, and even Audi with their A8 or Lexus with the LS haven't been able to match the sales numbers of both the Beamer and the Benz. But there's another competitor in the segment that you should not be sleeping on, and it's today's hero, the Genesis G90. So what exactly is this thing? Well, the second generation G90 debuted in 2021 and comes in two trims, or rather with two engine options. A 375 horsepower twin-turbo V6 starting at around $90,000 and a mild hybrid which uses the same engine but has an e-supercharger added for extra boost and to eliminate turbo lag, making a total of 409 horses. That will cost you a little over 100 grand, but you do get a fully loaded car for that money. Both units are paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission and both use a rear-biased all-wheel drive system. Chassis-wise, we get a multi-link suspension front and back, combined with adaptive dampers, which, besides the ability to go stiffer or softer, can prepare the chassis for impacts ahead of you using a data from the GPS and a camera. The mild hybrid model also gets an air suspension for extra comfort, as well as a rear-wheel steering system, which not only makes the car easier to maneuver, but also helps with driving dynamics. So from a technical or a technological standpoint, this thing is on parallel with its German rivals, but does it drive as good? We're gonna talk about that, but first, let's take a look inside and discuss the interior space. Okay guys, inside the Genesis G90, I think it's safe to say that this cabin matches the opulent design of the exterior. It has been designed with great attention to detail, and Genesis has nothing to be ashamed of. The material choice is excellent. A lot of surfaces are covered in leather, there's a good use of aluminum and wood, and not only does it all look nice, it's also well put together as you expect from a luxury full-size sedan. On top of that, we still have a good amount of physical controls for things that require easy access, and from ergonomics perspective, this reminds me of previous generation BMW 7 Series. Everything is laid out intuitively, so you get inside this thing and know how to use it right away. That obviously also applies to the technology, which has been a strong side of recent Hyundai products. The infotainment has a super friendly user interface, and while it has a lot of different menus, they are logically structured, and figuring out what's where shouldn't take you long. You can control the system either via a touchscreen or a controller in the center console, which is a much safer solution while driving, and yeah, overall, it's a great system. The only downside that I can think of is no wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, so you have to plug in your device to use the phone projection, but that's just a minor inconvenience. The gauge cluster is highly customizable, allowing you to change its design or layout, and provides all the information you need, such as the trip computer, driving assistance information, map with directions from the navigation, and all that fun stuff. Lastly, the Bang & Olufsen sound system. While it's not at the level of Bowers & Wilkins from the 7 Series, it's still very good. It has multiple DSP modes you can choose from, which simulate different listening environments. I kept everything off and was happy with its performance overall. The storage across the cabin is what we typically see in this segment, not groundbreaking or necessarily impressive, but we do get some space in the center console, both front and back, and the door pockets are okay. The trunk isn't the biggest in the segment, but don't worry, it will easily fit two sets of golf claps, so you and Gary can go to your local country club. The front seats are super soft and offer superior comfort. They have multiple massaging modes that help you keep fatigue-free on longer trips, and the range of adjustments is also quite good. Moving to the back, that's where you want to be at in the G90. The VIP seat, the rear passenger side seat, reclines with an ottoman. You can adjust it in multiple ways, and obviously there's heating, cooling, and massage. You also get a screen in the middle, which features the same user-friendly interface and allows you to control things like the media, climate, seats, sunshades, or the interior lighting, and for more conservative clientele, there are still physical controls. Overall, the cabin space is truly impressive. It's very comfortable and you feel like you're in a special product. So the question is the driving experience the same? Well, let's get the G90 on the road and see how it drives. Okay guys, driving the Genesis G90. Now, as I said in the intro, most buyers in this segment will gravitate towards a 7 Series or an S-Class, but you shouldn't be sleeping on Genesis. Since we're on our favorite back road, let's talk about driving dynamics first. We can put it in sport mode. That's an awesome Viper, man. I love those things. All right, back to Genesis. Let's go a little faster through those corners. There's still noticeable lean and body roll. The suspension, even in stiffer setting, perfectly soaks up all those road imperfections that are here. It's super quiet and the car literally floats over them. Brakes are okay. They help you slow down this beast. Section of those corners, we can downshift. Into second, there's a big delay from the transmission. Not the quickest unit. Wouldn't compare it even to an 8 HP unit from ZF that the BMW 7 Series has, but it's okay. We have a 4-wheel steering system on our tester, which makes the car feel more nimble and gives you the sensation of driving a car with a shorter wheelbase, but you can still trick physics. This is a big yacht that loves to lean in corners. The steering doesn't give you any feedback. It's quick, but part of it is that 4-wheel steering system. Yeah, some understeer here, but the engine is fine. I like how it delivers power. It's a very smooth unit. All right, enough of that. This is not what the G90 is made for. Let's put it in chauffeur mode, which technically prioritizes rear passengers, but we can just slow down and chill and talk about what it's like to live with the G90. As a luxury full-size sedan, this thing is amazing. I've really enjoyed driving this thing over the past few days. It completely isolates you from the outside world. You feel like you're in a submarine. There's very minimal wind noise and road noise coming inside. We obviously have active noise cancellations. There are microphones that are located around the cabin that pick up the noise and try to eliminate it, very similarly to the noise cancelling system that you, for example, have in your headphones. In chauffeur mode, the transmission and the engine is even lazier. The transmission doesn't like to downshift that much. It tries to take advantage of that mid and low end torque that you get from the engine, and it's great, you know. As a cruiser, I wouldn't mind taking this on a road trip from New York to LA and back. I would probably prefer it over flying because I just love driving, but the Genesis is made for those long distances and it does amazing. You have massaging seats, the driving position is great, visibility, cannot complain about that either. You feel like you're in a very special place, and that really surprised me about the Genesis. A few weeks ago I drove the GV80 SUV and that car was nice but didn't feel very special. This feels like a true full-size sedan, and from a driving dynamics perspective, from even comfort perspective, I like it more than the Lexus LS. I still think the S-Class is a segment leader, but this is very close. We also have a very good technology and driver assist systems, automatic lane changing, adaptive cruise control. They all work great, much better than they work in initial Genesis products, so you can't really complain. And for 100 grand, I mean, if I were to choose between a fully loaded 5 Series or an E-Class or the G90, man, I'm getting the G90 as a daily nice sports car like a Z4 or a Miata, and I'm all set. Anyways, that's all I wanted to say about the Genesis G90, so let's jump into the final thoughts and summarize it. Okay guys, summing up the Genesis G90. Now, designing a full-size luxury sedan isn't easy, and making it competitive is even harder, but Genesis has nothing to be ashamed of with the G90. It offers everything that you can expect from a luxury limousine. A phenomenal ride comfort with super isolated cabin, well-implemented technology that isn't frustrating to use, and a unique styling inside and out that has that wow factor that you want from a $100,000 car. To be completely honest though, I still doubt people will cross-shop it with an S-Class or a 7 Series. And there is nothing wrong with the car. It's the brand perception and the fact that Genesis doesn't have the reputation that Mercedes and BMW do. And that's something that they still have to earn. As a side note, some of my neighbors have Genesis products, and while they love their cars, the dealership and service experience just isn't what they're used to with BMW or Audi. But if they fix that, they're gonna be unstoppable. Anyways, if you guys have any questions about the Genesis G90, drop a comment and I'll answer them. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you all later.